Cool. Kyle asked me to just tell everyone about the history of Square State Skate and how we got to where we are today. It's been a long, wild ride, really. We looked for almost 3 years before we ended up signing a lease on a location. Out of nowhere, I think it was on Craigslist, I saw a listing for a 2,500 square foot warehouse, and it was within our price range, and we're like, you know what, let's do it. So we signed the lease and we had our own spot, but it's not actually this spot. It was actually right next door, and we were there for about a year, a little over a year. We moved all of the ramps from the unit next door over into our new space here. So let's head in and we'll kind of tell you about what all we've done here. This front entry space is just such a great addition to the SquareHouse warehouse. We have the whole wall of all the photos. A lot of these predate me. So yeah, we came in here and we wanted to make this feel just kind of like a clubhouse. Originally, this unit that we're in now, it used to be the old Avery brew house and tap room. So it's got a lot of history here in Boulder. This used to just be a small, normal-sized doorway right here. So what we did is we cut out this wall even further, so it's much easier to see into the skate space. This loft wasn't here when we moved in, because we knew we needed that space for parents to watch and a place for kids to come into the park. So we built this loft. What's great is it also has a viewing loft up top for parents so they can watch from up there. But it was funny because when we initially built the loft, we didn't have a way to get up there. So we originally built a ladder. It was pretty steep, it was kind of intense. I don't think a lot of parents liked climbing up and down it. As far as the skate space, that section over there used to be where I'm standing. That quarter pipe was pushed all the way over to the wall, and the mini ramp we moved, and it was right here. And I think it was a pretty good setup. I think the kids enjoyed it, but it didn't feel refined. It didn't feel finished. So pandemic hit, and nothing else was going on in the world. So we're like, let's take this opportunity and do our very first big remodel. So we pretty much broke down almost every single ramp, and we rearranged everything and rebuilt ramps, built some new features as well. We basically took this raised section and we just rolled the whole thing over and then rolled it back. I can't believe it worked. We also had an artist by the name of Wancho approach us. He's a skateboarder. He offered to make our space a ton better by livening it up with this awesome mural. It really has just totally transformed this space. It used to just be a white wall. Some other ways we've tried to make this place, just feel more like home, feel like our space, is by adding the Denver Skate Museum. Squeaks graciously donated a lot of his museum for us to put on display here. I think I counted once, there's over 300 boards on that wall alone. He actually made a hand railing out of trucks, which I think is just genius. So initially, this wall went the whole way. Right as the pandemic hit, and we approached our landlord because we knew there was a space behind us that was just being used for storage. So we had the idea, let's acquire this space and let's create a learning space for kids where they can come and do their online school and skate the park when they're not, needing to be sitting down in front of the computer. But then eventually all the kids went back to school. We started to build more ramps back here. A skateboard manufacturing company called Anno Domini. They reached out to us and asked if we wanted the mini ramp, and we're like, you know what, that would fit perfectly back in our space back here. So me and 7, 8, 9 other staff went and basically broke down this entire mini ramp. We fit the entire thing into one U-Haul and we brought it back to the SquareHouse. And about that point, we're like, well, we don't have a lot of room here for a new, different feature. So we cut out this massive section of this wall. Yeah, one of the more recent things we built then was this new feature. It's nice and small, it's mellow, and honestly, there's sessions where 9 of the 10 kids are over here skating just this. Johnny I think it was a couple months before he moved to the East Coast. Wanted to leave his mark, or maybe Brian forced him, because I don't know if that's Johnny's style to really push for it. But Johnny did one of his original artworks here on the wall as well. We had to move that big, heavy mini ramp all the way around the warehouse and set it up back here. I don't even remember how we did it. That ramp moved a lot, but it sat back here for years, and it's basically falling apart. So we had the idea of, well, let's make a new ramp. And now we're building a much larger ramp that I really hope the kids are gonna enjoy, so.
It never ends, does it?
Never ends. Constantly changing.